back, YouTube. Justin Des here, and I'm going to break down what I think could work in Madden 24 that's going to work in the new EA College football game. There's going to be 5 things. They may not be orthodox, but let's hop into number 1. Number 1, dev trades. Now, I don't know. I'm wishy-washy about Superstar X Factors because to me, not a lot of people like them. I don't like them. I think to me, Superstar X Factor belongs in Madden, but I do think in terms of dev trades, I think Superstar, Star, Normal work. For example, we're going to show Anthony Dorsey, Star. A star I think can work in college football because there are stars in college football. You can name them, whatever you think of when you think of a star in college football. Boom, there you go. So to me, I think Superstar should be the highest in terms of dev traits in the new college football game. Do I think that's going to happen? No. But I feel like Travis Hunter, Quentin Ewers, and some of the guys that could be on the cover could be Superstar X Factors. But to me, Superstar to Star should be the top-notch guys. Like, we're showing BJ Woodley, a tight end, Superstar. So then you see the star on the field. So it's kind of like impact player back when it was on NCAA 14. I don't know what it was called in older ones, but I also know in older NCAA games, they somewhat had, I don't want to say Superstar X Factors, but factors where, like, I believe when quote-unquote Reggie Bush's likeness was in the game, they used him. He had an ability where if he got hot or in the zone, he would be unstoppable, which is fair because it's Reggie Bush, one of the greatest running backs of all time. So I wouldn't be completely upset if they do Superstar X Factor because there could be guys like a Reggie Bush that when they get going, they're just going to become unstoppable. But me personally, I would love to just have Superstar and you go from there. But I also understand with the draft classes and whatnot, there's going to be guys that are going to become Superstar X Factors. So to me, this is the dev trait that I want in the new college football game. Next up, which I think because they implied this to Madden 24, give me minicamp. Give me minicamp / training camp. But I don't want it to be limited. Like, I know you can't do offensive linemen, but right now this is an offensive line, like a linebacker. So you have, trench battle, chase and tackle, coverage, all that stuff. Meanwhile, with right tackle, there's none. Like, give me drills for offensive linemen as well. And for corners, like, you have DB battles, this and that. Like, I want, if I want to have all the mini games and whatnot, like, let me have offensive linemen develop as well. But I also think guys that redshirt should also be eligible to do those games. Because to me, that's the whole point of redshirting them is to develop them. So why not? If you redshirt them, instead of sitting them aside and just being like, whatever, let them develop with the mini games. Say you have a freshman quarterback that's not ready yet, but you have like a junior quarterback. You redshirt the quarterback, and then you can play mini games with him throughout the season and also training camp. So then by the time the senior leaves, that freshman might be ready. Like, to me, if you're going to add the mini games, fine, add the mini games, but make it so that I can do offensive linemen as well, because I believe they're the only position that doesn't have a drill. And then let me be eligible to have the redshirt guys that I'm redshirting do this, because to me, I think you should have the mini drills be with the practice squad guys as well. And then training camp, I know the older games, I don't know if older NCAA games had it, but to me, training camp drills would be absolutely fun. You come in with your freshmen, see you ball out, this and that. So that is my number 2. Now my number 3 is hire and fire coordinators. I know, and I'm hoping the coaching carousel goes absolutely crazy. Personally, I would love to have in-depth, like I would love a special teams coordinator. Obviously, we're not going to get quarterback coaches, running back coaches and whatnot. But I will say I don't mind Madden having very specific type of offensive coordinators. Like, for example, this offensive coordinator, you can either work on halfbacks, But I'd like it to be a little bit more like, secure the line, receiver guru, outside running. Like, I'm okay with these type of trees. I think they could be different in the new college football game, but I like the fact that this is not a quarterback heavy coordinator. And there's coordinators that are quarterback gurus, or there's just guys that are, hey, we're offensive line, we're about the run game. I think that is absolutely cool. They need to keep that. Would I like a little bit more in depth of a tree? Yes, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do that. But I wouldn't be mad if what I do like about Madden is they have a very run heavy, like offensive line, running back, wide receiver. Those are gonna what helps your offensive coordinator. It's just not gonna be all around offense. This guy's probably more run heavy. So it's like, hey, like short route running, he'll help the wide receivers, it's not just the entire offense. It's that. When you look at defense, it's linebackers. This is basically just offensive. It's just linebackers. Obviously it helps the entire defense, but I like these different trees to help out each end. So same thing with offensive defensive coordinators. I'm expecting that, let's just say we fire Kelly Stevens, for example. I'm hoping, because compared to 32 teams in the NFL, there's going to be 140 something, coaches. I'm hoping that there's way more opportunities, way more offensive coordinators to hire than this. I don't like it this way, but to me, I'm also thinking, hey, there's 32 options, 32 jobs, not as many coaches. So I'm hoping that there's more options when it comes to offensive and defensive coordinators. Plus, to me, it adds more immersion. Like, let's say your defense is struggling. Instead of waiting to the end of the year, you could just fire Roy Walker and be like, bye-bye, see you later. I also think maybe I don't know if they'll have a player personnel, but something like it, I think in NCAA, where it's like it helps you with NIL or recruiting. Like, I think player personnel is going to be like another piece that helps your coach. Be like, oh, to help offensive, help recruit offensive players, defensive players, NIL, or be like, oh, help your coach I don't want to say awareness, but like morale or coach integrity and stuff. So I think that could be in play as well. Number 4 is the ability to name your captains. Now, I know it's not going to show a C on all of the jerseys. I'm okay if they don't, but I think it would be cool to see a C like Devontae Adams has. To me, it just shows a little bit more immersion. I know you did not have that option in NCAA 14. I don't know if you did in old ones, but it would just be random. It could be like your 4th string defensive lineman that's a senior that would be the captain. Like, no, I want it to be like my All-American wide receiver and my All-American linebacker. You name them captains. You don't need to have 4 or 5. I'd be okay with 2 or 3. But let me have the option to name my captains. So then it could be like, hey, only upperclassmen can be captains. I think it would be cool. I think it'd be a different thing and help kind of feel like you're running a college program. Finally, is kind of customize the strength of the recruiting classes. I know some people may not like this, but for people who make content, I think this would be great. If people just want to test out like how overpowered a recruiting class could be if they're all very strong or very weak, because let's be realistic, some recruiting classes may not be as strong as others, and I think it could really help not only, if you're trying to create a dynasty like I am on the channel, it could help with some storylines, but also keep it refreshing. Instead of just having normal and kind of having the same overalls and this and that, you could have a year where the quarterback class is not very strong. So do you go after a guy in recruiting, or do you try to pluck a guy via the transfer portal? Or let's say you had a strong offensive line class for 3 or 4 years, and now you're looking, in the last couple of years, the offensive line class hasn't been strong. What do you do? Do you pluck guys from the transfer portal, or do you take a gamble on the following year that some of these freshmen that you're going to get can replace your guys that a couple of years ago? Like, to me, I think it'd be very, very interesting. It could be weak, I'm okay with very weak, normal, strong, very strong, all that aspects. But to me, I think it could help kind of keep it refreshing, where you could have an absolute stacked, once in a generation, once in a lifetime recruiting class, or you could be like, wow, this recruiting class is terrible. I'm going to try to get all my players via the transfer portal. Again, it doesn't have to. I know people don't like it, but I think this could add to immersion. Not just people trying to create content via this game, but I think it could just be refreshing in general for the game. I also, creating a recruiting class would be fun. Or maybe not all of it, but I think it would be really, really cool. So then people can download like the accurate recruiting classes, like the class of 2026. If someone wants to make the entire class, they can, just like how in Madden they make, the 2025. I'm sorry, because it's 2025 here, but let's say they make the NFL, like the class of 2025 NFL draft, those college guys. I know you could probably just import them, but to me, I think, via EA and Madden, but I think it would be really, really cool if you could create maybe not just 10 prospects, you get like a limit of maybe like 40 to 50. So then you can create like maybe the top 50 recruiting, like top 50 players in the class or something. But I think it would be really, really cool if you could create your own recruiting class, or no more, or expand more on just creating recruits than just like 10. I believe in NCAA 10. So that's my honorable mention. But let me know down in the comments what you think could work from Madden to EA College Football. And until next time, you guys have a good one. Peace.